everybody, this is Ellen. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a Happy Rambutan. They are a Malaysian fruit of sorts. I will say that I've never tried one of these because when I actually see them in the grocery stores here in the US, at least locally where I am, they are not this very beautiful color with the bright red skin and the cute little green spikes to them. They are brown and not very appealing looking, so I've never tried one, but I guess I have to kind of maybe look into that here in the future. But let's see, band wise, there are 218 red, 104 green, 1 to 3 black depending on what you do for the eyes and the mouth, and then I used white for the cheeks, so 2 bands for those too. This does take some prep work, so I'll show you how to do that. It's not horrible, but it does involve a lot. All these spikes are put on beforehand, so then we loom them while we go. And of course you can always add on more of these than what I show you, but that will be up to you. So we'll get started here. So first I'm going to go through the eyes and the cheeks so you can have those ready. I use pony beads, but you can use a wrapped band if you want to. And then the cheeks too. So if you're going to use a wrapped band for the eye, it's 1 band, whatever color you want your eye to be. Put it on your hook, wrap it around 1 time into a figure 8. Grab both the bands, wrap them around again. Look at that band. Rainbow loom. Take 2 bands, the color of the guy here, the red on the inside, and pull those through the middle. So these are the 2, so you'd have to have 2 of these, so they'd be a wrapped eye band. The cheeks are made the same way as the wrapped eye band, so it's whatever color you want your cheek on the hook, wrap it around into the figure 8, grab both bands, wrap them around again, and then pull through 2 red bands. Like that. So you need 2 cheeks. But if you're going to do the beads for the eyes, I'm using 7mm pony beads. Those are just my preference. You're going to want to find something that you can thread through the center of your bead. I use a piece of craft wire, but you can use a twist tie, fishing line, floss, string, thread, anything like that. Anything you can get into a V shape. So you'll take 2 bands, put them down into the center, close it up, and then thread it through the center of your bead. Pull it down to the middle, take out your threading tool, and then you have a beaded eye band, and you would need 2 of those as well. So now for the fun part, making the bands with the spikes on them. I'm going to make them on our loom, so it's not quite as horrible. And how we're going to do that is you can fill up all 3 rows at a time with the bands. I usually only do the outside just because of how we put them on. You'll kind of see as we go here, because I'll show you how to make them, and then you're probably going to want to pause the video to make those, so kind of just see what I do, and then you can decide how you want to put them on the loom as far as row wise. But it's 2 bands, and we're just going to go all the way up the loom. So I'm starting at the red arrow side. We just go all the way up the loom with the 2 bands. There are actually 2 different sets of the bands that I make, so they aren't too horrible. I of course pre-made all the ones I need except for the 12 for this kind, and then you only need 12 of the other ones, so I'll be making all those. So then I'm going to go up the other side. And like I said, once you see what I'm doing here, you can decide if you want to go up the middle or not. Or you can take apart your loom so you have 3 rows too, if you have a rainbow loom. I'm using Rainbow Loom Red and then Rainbow Loom Neon Green for this. Because of how we put on the little hairs on the thing, It's I don't know if I would recommend jelly bands for the hairy part on them, just because they don't slip knot well, which is what we're going to be doing. So that'll be up to you if you want to try that. Alright, so now what we're going to do, so we have two styles of bands that we have on this guy as far as kind of being having the spikes or hair on them. The first set are the ones that go up here on the top. You need 12 of them, so one row would be 12. And what I do is it's one band. I'm going to take my hook, go underneath. I'm actually going to come in here a little bit. I go underneath the band, hook the green spiky bands, pull it around both, put both ends on my hook. I'm going to make a slip knot, so I'm going to pull it through. And now, before I take my hook out, I'm going to turn it around and grab that little lip and pull that up. It makes a little bit better slip knot because otherwise these will want to fall off, and I just pull it tight. I usually put my fingers kind of down next to the red bands and then pull tight on the green one. It's alright if it stretches out because they don't all have to be the same size, and we want the knot to be tight. So that's one kind where we wrap both of them. Hook underneath both bands, bring it up on the hook, do a slip knot, and before I take my hook out, I'm going to turn it down, grab that other band that goes across, and then pull that band through, and then make sure to pull it tight. So we need 12 like this. And for the other side, we do them a little bit differently. And for those, it's still the one band, but this time we're only going through half of the band. So I pull up a band through kind of the middle of it, both ends on the hook, pull it through, and grab that little lip and pull that up through, and then this gets pulled tight. So you do that for, like I said, one row for this kind with the double bands, so you only need 12 of them. But this side, where we do half of the band, we need 92 of them. That's 9-2. It is a lot, but once those are made, like this, that's basically all we need for the guy. So I mean, there aren't any more bands to use, it's just we put all the little hairs on them ahead of time. So I'm going to quickly run through these because I do need them. I'm going to fast forward through it when I get to editing, but it's just the pulling up the band, slip knotting it, and then grabbing that little lip and pulling that up and making a tight knot. And we just do that all the way up the loom where you have it. But of course I'll put all this into the description below the video box if you need to see it again. So, but I'll be quiet because I'm going to fast forward here, starting now. Alright, so that's all of my bands that I need then. So I'll just take these off the loom. Keeping them separate, so I have the... It's pretty easy to tell which ones are which, but... And we will actually need these bands first, the ones that we wrapped both of the bands. These ones we want to be a little bit more careful taking off the loom. Alright, so if you have everything made and ready to go, you're going to start with these bands that are, we have the band over both, we have our spiky band over both of them, and we're going to lay a 12-pin center. So I'm going to start by taking a band, just kind of starting up here, kind of in the middle area here. I have the wrong side of the loom facing me as well. So I'll start right here. Next band, I'll go up one. We're just going to kind of make a little fan around. This one's going to have a long stretch from the center pin right here up to this corner pin. Next one will go from the center pin all the way up to this top pin. Just kind of get on there as best as you can. This one will have a long stretch to the other corner from the center. And this one goes from the center to right below our last one. So it's kind of a little fan shape. And then from this pin right here, we're going to do the exact same thing, but just opposite direction. So start here, go from the center this way, and come down. I'm not being particular about which way the little spikes are pointing right now. I will say they are going to get in the way. They're going to be kind of annoying. They're going to be in your way while you're trying to loom, and hopefully not a whole lot in my way while I'm trying to show you what to do. As long as you don't get them stuck on the pins, and I'll show you what I mean by that, we can pull them all out later. That's not a big deal if they get buried. So like that's what we have now. And you want two bands. And we're going to put them on this pin for a cap band. You want them 3 times around. If you have trouble with your bands breaking, maybe use jelly bands here, or I'm going to wrap them 3 times, but maybe wrap them around twice. I will show that because this is a 12-pin design and we're stretching this way out to get these loomed out, there does end up being a hole in the top. However, all the hair there hides it, and if it really bothered you, then you could just take a band and slip knot it through there and it would close up, but I think it looks alright. Not worried about it. It's my little secret that I showed you. So, but just matter of ease of looming. If you can't get it with it wrapped 3 times, then just do twice, and that's fine too. So we're going to go through the cap band we just put on. You'll grab the top 2 bands and just loom them back toward themselves, like that. And if you want, you can grab that little hair band. And you can pull those up, or you can wait till later. It doesn't matter. That's up to you. So then just go back into the cap band and keep pulling out the top two bands until you've gone all the way around this side. That was only one band. I tell you, they get in the way. The only thing that you really don't want to do is get them stuck on a pin like this when you're doing a row. Just make sure that, I mean, they can be, as we put the rows around, they can be all twisted up in those, but just make sure that they don't end up on top of a pin. It's not a huge deal if you plan to cut them, but if you don't plan on cutting the bands, this would not be good. So make sure they don't end up like that. Last one on this side. So once we've got to there, like I said, you can pull up all your bands down below if you want, or you can wait till you're done looming. It's really doesn't matter. I like to be able to see them, so. Thanks, Sue. So now what we're going to do is take our cap band and we're going to stretch it down to this pin down here so that we can loom out this end. This is where it might be tight. Couple things, if you really can't get it pulled down, you're going to have to back it up, undo this part, and then, like I said, go back to 2 instead of 3 times tight. Or you can take your hook, put it right here, and try and pull this down, which will help loosen up things so that you can hopefully grab this and pull it down around that pin without too much trouble. And then just carefully go around to pull your bands up. And it wouldn't be horrible if they all popped up and were coming on the top of the figure either, but so like so. So now we're going to do a row around, so you're going to push your bands down. So you're going to want the bands that have a single band tied to them. What I do is I'm going to start down here, and I'm just going to take them and stretch them around. And I usually have the knotted side on the inside. So we're just going to go all the way around with bands like that. And like I said, this is where you want to be careful not to get any of your green bands stuck over the pins. Make sure that they're in your way, but make sure they're just not stuck over any pins. Alright, so I went all the way around the outside. So now what we're going to do So you're going to come and you're going to flip the bottom 4 bands over the top of the pins all the way around. And they are tighter because we have them stretched quite a bit, so. Especially the end ones. Like so. So we're going to do the exact same thing again, another row around. So push your bands down, and then take your bands with the singles on them and just go around. So really the most tedious part of doing this is just attaching all the hairs to these. And after that it's a pretty straightforward design, I think. Like that. So again, you're going to go around and flip over the bottom 4. All the way around. Like so. So now what you can do is you can probably loosen this up a little bit. Pull up your red bands. Pull the cap band off the pins in the middle. It's not going to come totally up yet, but just a little bit. Just pulling up some more of those bands. So once again, we are going to do a row around just like we did before. Same thing, all the way around. like so. And then once again flip the bottom 4. Like so. Push your bands down. Next is our eye row, so you'll want your eyes. Eyes are going to go right here in the front. So we'll start, or I'm going to start back here. Put my bands on the first 2 places. And our eyes will go right here. And then the rest of the way around will be these bands. Like so. Then flip over the bottom 4 all the way around. Sorry I'm not very talkative this time around. Kind of tired. Up late again like usual, and trying to think of something funny to say, but I'm not very funny, I don't think. Not usually. I have my moments. I can talk that I do plan to go try one of these fruits. I have to wait till I know the supermarket I usually go to, they don't have them, but another one in town does. I'm going to release these again, so it can kind of loosen up. The next row is our cheek row, so the cheeks are going to go right where the eyes were. So again, more of these bands. And cheeks go right by the eyes. And the rest of the way around will just be these bands. I guess I could say that I finally watched the Fault in Our Stars movie. Very good. Definitely very cute. Well, depressing but cute love story. I usually don't. I usually convince my husband to watch tearjerkers with me like once a month. But I know that I already had him watch a movie that was kind of like that already this month, so I had to watch it by myself. He's definitely more worries about being a man, so he can't cry during movies, so so he stays away from the tearjerkers just in case. So I'm going to flip over the bottom 4 all the way around. On the other hand, if I know I'm going to cry, it's like get that Kleenex box ready so I can dab my eyes, and I guess I'm just a typical, stereotypical girl when it comes to tearjerker movies. Watch. It's like if I know if I'm going to go watch like Steel Magnolias or Beaches or some of those old movies that some of you kids probably don't know what I'm talking about. Makes me cry every time. It's like it gets worse as you get older and you have your own kids and your own family and your own responsibilities. Because then you imagine your own children there. Push your bands down. So I'm going to put the mouth on. So whatever color you want the mouth to be, take that band, put it on your hook, wrap it around one time into a figure 8. Then come here in the front, and the bands that are between the cheeks, you're going to grab those off the pin, all of them, pull them up, slide your mouth band down over the bands, and then you put them back on, put the bands back onto the pin. So look like that. Alright, so now we're going to do another row all the way around, just like we did previous. I'm just kind of randomly pulling them out every once in a while when I see them. I think it's just a compulsion to have them all poking out. Although they don't have to be, so. And last one for this row. So then again, you'll flip over the bottom 4 all the way around. It's kind of remind me of Chia Pets. I had one as a kid. It was a kitty cat. I don't think anything ever actually grew on mine. I think my brother had luck, but not me. Like so. Push your bands down. Then we're going to do another row around, same way. I told you this design was pretty easy, it's just a little time consuming. So I say, I know we did those slip knots kind of weirdly, and how you would normally do them. Kind of an extra step, but they seem to stay tighter longer because the regular slip knots kept kind of loosening up. And that's no fun. Like so. Then again, flip the bottom 4. And we're getting about done. Close. Not the closest we could be, but close. Like so. I'll pull them up a little bit again. Alright, so then you want to take your bands and push them down. Then we have one final row to put on. So all the way around, bands again. I like how it feels when I touch it. Alright, flip the bottom 4 again one last time. You can hear that little squeak. I actually checked, I do have a little crack in one of my pin bars, so I'm kind of waiting for it to snap. Which would be cool for television, but not so cool because then I have broken Loom. But like so. Then what you want to do is we're going to go back around and we're going to flip over the bottom 2 bands all the way around. Just make sure they're the bottom 2 and not the top 2. You'll kind of know as soon as you take them off because they'll slingshot around. Like so. Push your bands down. And I'm going to use a latch hook to close this, but you can use a long threading band if that's easier. I know that the designs that are on the 12 pins like this and closing them with your hook is a little bit more difficult than other designs that are smaller. But that's how I prefer to close them, and I think it's easier to do it that way. So latch hook works wonderful. Otherwise, if you use your regular hook or the threading band, those are good too. Just keep the pins covered that you're not by right away, or not closing, as you pull it around. I'm just going in and grabbing all these. The crochet hook works as well too, just something longer than the Rainbow Loom hooks. Like so. I'm going to take 2 bands, put it on the end of my hook, slide it through everything, put both ends on my hook. If I get one end past the latch, then I can just pull it through. And get that in, and then I'll pull these and hide them. Then you just go around and you grab any of the bands that got tucked inside and pull them out. They're kind of in rows, so you shouldn't have too hard of a time finding them. The top, you'll just have to go in through and pull any that are still inside up. And I will say that on the face, I did do the bands here as well. If you really don't like them, you can remove them. But I actually just, like, it kind of hangs down funny. The other end of the band that's right in front there, if I hook that, then grab the spiky bands, the hair bands, and pull them up, that'll keep it away from the face. Just grab those other bands behind, grab the spike band and pull it up so they're not in the way. And you can do the same thing with the down by the cheeks as well. The other side. Like that. Let's go around, make sure you got them all pulled out. Pull any tight again that might have come loose. And then if you want, you can cut them like I did. I just grabbed a pair of scissors and cut them all, or you can just leave them like this. It doesn't matter either way. It's just kind of your preference. But I think they turn out super cute. Like I said, they feel funny when you're holding them. I like them. I think they look like the fruits, which I will try. So I hope you like them. I think they're awesome. But if you make some of these guys, I'd love to see them on my Instagram page, which is at Crafting Fantastic, or on my Facebook page, which is feelinspiffy or Crafting Fantastic. There's a link underneath the video for that. And of course, if you subscribe to my channel, then you'll know when I come out with more awesomely adorable little foods and figures and hook-only stuff and whatever else I can think of. That would be awesome. I'd appreciate that. And as always, I hope you're still enjoying these, and I will have more soon because I'm enjoying them. But thanks for watching. Happy looming.